This game was played in Moscow against an American player, Joshua Friedel. Although it is from another opening, no Italian game, but it is Ruy Lopez. You will see that the ideas are very similar. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6, queen e2, b5, bishop b3, bishop c5, d3, d6, c3, h6. So far, black is playing well, not castling, as we know, which is bad because bishop will go out to g5. So now castle, castle, and the move bishop e3. So I'm using the same method as we have seen before. Rook e8, knight bd2. So white is trying to finish the development, and at some point he wants to play d4, maybe, and then white will have space advantage. In the game, black played knight g4, and of course this move is not the best one, because exchanging the bishop on e3 allows white to open the f line. Also, knight f6 is a very good knight, which is being used for the defense of the black king. So my opponent doesn't understand quite simple things, and he thinks that leaving the bishop on c5 he can make use of that. But actually, after the exchange on e3, he will be left with a non-plain bishop c5. So now I play bishop d5. Knight e3 is not the best move, as I've already explained. It would be better for black to try to protect the knight on c6. But then, if he, for example, plays bishop d7, then he must take into consideration the following idea by white, that the knight is coming to b3. And after queen e7, I can, for example, play h3, knight f6, and now queen e3. So the pawn c5 will be lost. So we have to conclude that the plan with knight g4 has gone completely wrong. So after bishop d5, knight e3, f3, bishop b7, white is standing much better, because I'm going to play d4 on the next move, and I will organize the attack on the pawn f7. Rook f8, now I play d4, bishop b6, knight h4. So you see, threatening to play knight g6 and also to win the pawn on f7. King h7, queen f5, king h8, and now the move queen h3. So the pawn f7 will not run away. I'm also going to play knight f5 and attack the pawn h6. So e d4, c d4. So you see that the bishop on b6 is completely out of play and is not taking any part in the defense of the position. So all these three and even rook on a8 pieces are standing offside, not participating in defense. And how many pieces of white are taking part in the attack? So now bishop d5, knight h4, queen h3, and rook f1. So you see the difference in the material. So obviously white has a huge advantage there, and it is not easy to defend the pawn on f7, because if, for example, queen e8 now, then black must think about the move like rook f6, for example, and it is besides the regular move knight f5, and if, for example, here, then this way of win for white is also possible. So black is forced to give up the pawn on f7. But then, of course, the pawn is a pawn, and still keeping a very strong center, d4, e4, e3, black is not able to create any counterplay. Now queen e7 is threatening, So king h7, knight f5, having extra pawn, it is possible to go into the ending. And as you see that even with some material exchanged, white is still attacking the black king. Queen f6, now bishop d5, so attacking the pawn on h6 and threatening to exchange this bishop on b7. So the move c6 is forced, bishop e6, king g7, and now rook f1 is also entering position with attacking ideas. Rook b8, bishop f8, bishop c8, because the bishop f5 has become too strong already. Exchange, and knight f3. So knight h4 is going to f5. So the position is easy win for white. Rook c8, knight h4, rook a4, knight f5. The attack is being continued. The king on g5 is in the mating box. So black here resigned. So quite an extractive win from my side.